Now, I added the R1 to my collection in 2009. I'm the original owner, the only owner, and it has been a real trip for me to make the modifications I have to the bike to make it suit my needs, my ergonomics. I've changed many, many things on the bike that you don't even see. I've made 6 individual seats for this bike, and I've probably had 10 sets of handlebars on it. And everything was to make the bike mine, to make it more comfortable, because I was putting a lot of miles on. I'm coming up on 32,000 miles on this bike. And I do enjoy riding it as often as possible. And it's a really fun bike to ride in every way. And the only downside is you got to keep buying tires for it. So today I wanted to get some time on the R1, take a nice little ride. Looks like it's going to be a decent day. It still isn't really spring. It's like fake spring, but it's sure better than winter. So I want to clean the bike up, get it pre-flighted, get it ready, and we'll be out on the open road hopefully very shortly. And as soon as the coffee's brewed, we'll have our last cup of coffee too, just to make sure we don't fall asleep. When you're riding the R1, you got no traction control, no quick shifter. You gotta have an extra cup of coffee. But the first thing, and it's always a lot of fun, parking lot attendant. The people are coming in with their tickets, and you know, you gotta move all the bikes around and the one you want to ride is always in the back. It's uncanny how that happens. Now, to anybody who's got a small bike collection and a little garage, hey, my hat is off to you. I move these bikes around there's no end to it. It's just unbelievable. How the one you want to ride is always in the back. The answer would be to hit the lottery and put up a nice 8-car garage, 9-car garage or something. I don't know, but being a parking lot attendant, at least I look at the good side of it. I get some exercise every morning before the ride. To be honest, there's sometimes I feel like a parking lot attendant here, moving all this stuff around. Okay, now I can do a proper pre-flight cleaning, clean the back wheel, check the chain, and I want to get this all ready to go because the coffee is already brewing. And to be honest, we're coming up on a tire change on this. This is a Michelin 2, and the Michelin 2s on this bike, they didn't last really as long as I expected. I got from Vlad Pirelli Angels, which are really a street tire, a little bit harder rubber, I think. I checked it with the durometer, and it is a little bit harder than a Michelin 2. But I just am looking for more mileage because, to be honest, this bike eats up tires. 3,000 miles and bye-bye tires. You need tires. So I'm looking for hopefully get 5 out of the Pirellis. But I'll report either way. But I think we got a couple more rides left on this. Probably another couple 100 miles. A couple of rides unless we get too crazy. But we always get crazy. Now, I know many of my friends even, they don't clean the bike after every ride or before every ride. Sometimes I do it both ways because the roads where I ride, we're coming up on the end of this salt issue, but they're still dusty and dirty, and I just hate the fact that you have a bike now. In this case, this is a 2009. It's a 12, 13-year-old bike. I don't want it to look like a 13-year-old bike. I want it to look like it's better than the day I picked it up at the showroom. And I do more than the average amount of maintenance and cleaning and stuff. But the fact is, even my 40-year-old bikes don't look 40 years old. And that's always the goal. The goal is always to maintain the equipment, keep it safe, keep the chain lube, check the oil, make sure that the tires have the right amount of air. And it's a good investment in safety. Now, my apologies for some of the wind noise on the Canon footage. The Canon camera is terrible about picking up wind noise, and there's obviously not much I can do about it. Now, of course, to really have fun with an R1 or any big 1000cc bike, without a radar detector, it's a lot less fun. It's like playing football without a helmet, or shoes, or pants. Now, it was worth waiting until most of the salt is off the road, most of the slipperiness. Riding this bike with no traction control. This is the last year Yamaha made bikes without traction control. Not a lot of fun, believe me. But when you know you don't have traction control, one of the things that happens is the ride gets a lot more exciting. Sometimes a little bit too exciting. But anyway, the roads were decent today, and it was worth waiting because riding this bike again on salty roads, not a great idea. Now, for a really powerful bike, this bike handles the twisty roads better than most that I've ridden anyway. And the suspension on this bike, after 13 years, still great. Now, what I really love about this bike more than anything is the sound as you're riding it. It doesn't really come across on the video exactly accurate, but even when I had the exhaust system that I made, the carbon fiber exhaust, and it was loud, that sound came through. It's like music. And that is one of the things that's mesmerizing about this bike, whether you have the quiet exhaust, which I have on there now, or the loud exhaust, the really tracked exhaust that I made, the sound is still awesome. Simply awesome. Now this bike responded so well to lowering the forks because in this twisty, these turns are really very sharp, and entry in them, you dive in like you're riding a dirt bike sometimes. Lowering the forks really helped this bike. And because this Michelin 2 is kind of at the end of his life, maybe 1 or 2 more rides, but I'm really looking forward to. Vlad got me a set of Pirelli Angels. I already have the front Angel on already, and I'll be ready to put the back one on, well, probably in another couple of rides. Now when I painted these wheels silver and buffed them out by hand, I didn't know how I'd like it. When I put it on the bike for the first time and did the first photo shoot, I was so happy I did the similar thing to the MT-09. And if you look close, you'll notice there's about 25 little doodad custom carbon fiber parts I've made for this bike. And none of them are big deals, but they all add up. They're small details. And the new Valentine mount couldn't work out better. I've had it on several bikes now, and every one of the bikes, it is definitely a big upgrade. In every way, it's a big upgrade. And it took me a long time, well, it takes me a long time for any bike to make the bike my own. Get everything the way I like it, that it's an all-day driver, and you don't get backaches and headaches, and making it comfortable for me, job one. Now, I've ridden a lot of big 1000cc sport bikes, a lot of them. And this one has one thing that I really treasure. It's comfortable. You don't get a headache or a backache or a neck ache. It suits me perfectly. And when I put the R1 and the MT-09 in the driveway with the matching silver wheels and purpley blue paint, they're for sure, my Yamaha twins. Well, the tank is almost empty. That's usually about 125, 135 miles. Time to get back. Karen will have some coffee ready when I get there. It's still a little chilly, but because the bike is comfortable, you just get off the bike, clean it, put it back in the garage, and live to fight another day. Say hello to summer, baby. It's a beautiful day.
It's a little chilly.
Put the long underwear away and get out the farming tools. Oh, we had a great day. Really nice weather. Took full advantage. The wind was blowing up there. I couldn't believe it. So after this ride, Karen and I actually went down to the garden center and bought some seeds. We're a little premature here, but better early than late, that's for sure, for us farmers. So we really did have a really nice ride here. It was just blue skies and the wind. I don't know where this wind comes from. It's not here now. Up on the mountains there. I got to edit a lot of that out. The wind noise makes me crazy. You can even hear it through the helmet when you're recording video. Anyway, it's feeling like we're finally getting the first thing of real riding season here. But I know this time of year that could change in a hurry. But as I always say, every day that you can ride, in my case, I get to ride 3 to 4 hours a day. The exercise is wonderful. The fresh air is wonderful. Having to buy tires a couple times a year, not so wonderful. But all of the bikes in the collection, they're all different. They're all unique. They all challenge you in different ways. None of them are the same as the one you rode the day before. And sometimes you just have to stand back and look at all of them, and I think it's taken me a whole lifetime to collect these bikes and make them my own, and it's like a Sikorsky moment, and anybody that subscribes to this channel knows what a Sikorsky moment is. Anyway, I'm really hoping you did enjoy being on a ride with us today. And thanks so much for watching.